All right, folks, this is men's and women's track and field. I understand this is a spring day, or a spring media day press conference, but we are actually in the heart of our indoor season. We've got the Big Ten Championships coming up in 2 weeks, and we'll also be competing at the Melrose Games in New York City this weekend with the 4x8. Athlete-wise, we've got Kaz Loxam, a senior, current NCAA leader in the 800 and the 600. Kaz is actually the second fastest American ever in the 600 meters, and of course leads the Big Ten in both events as well. Team captain this year and multiple-time NCAA qualifier. Over here is Melissa Kursdorfer, team captain on the women's side, one of our top throwers this year, ranked top 10 in the Big Ten in both the shot and the weight. Like I said, she's also a team captain and a multiple-time NCAA qualifier. In the center, we have Coach Sullivan, director and head coach of both the men's and women's teams. And we actually just found out this morning that Coach Sullivan will also be the U.S. coach for the World Championships this summer in Moscow, Russia on August the 8th. So that's pretty exciting as well. So, welcome and have
You're the
at
first to know.
Beth, you're sending just the 4x8 to Melrose this weekend?
Yes. We were. It's Melrose is invite only, and so we were invited. Probably close to a month ago now. They gave me a call. The meet director there gave me a call and asked if we would like to do that. We're going for a sole purpose, and it's fun to be able to express it. But we're on a mission to try and set another collegiate record. The 4x8 collegiate record's been on the books for a while now. It's 8:17. We feel we've got four, if not more, legs that can easily set up a good race to break that collegiate record. So, yeah. So we're going there for that reason.
At this point, you're not going to have anyone running the mile there. You've had some good mile times lately.
Yeah, well, we definitely have had some good milers this indoor season. It was great to see Robbie Crease. Let me tell you, it was so much fun this past weekend. But we're trying to save those for the conference and nationals, and certainly the opportunity to run a 4x8 indoors is rare, so we're going to take advantage of that.
Does that make it tough because you have this back-to-back weekend from Melrose this weekend and Big Ten's next weekend?
We sort of. It could be tough. We had a lot of our relay have last weekend off. Three of the four legs they'll be racing had the weekend to train through last weekend, didn't travel, had gotten a lot done on their own prior to that. So they're a bit fresh going in, and feel like the amount of work that this race will take. It's an easy travel trip. We're not missing any classes. Nothing too extreme, and the benefit is really there for this opportunity. And I think they're very seasoned guys that be ready to come back at Big Ten level.
Yes, I assume you're one of those in the 4x8.
Yeah, I am.
How excited are you to be running into such a historic meet?
Melrose is always something I've wanted to do since high school, and with the Armory being kind of it's the closest major track to where I live in Connecticut. So I'm really excited to be kind of going close to home to race. My family's going to get to come down. It's just a really short train ride. It's such a prestigious meet, and there's going to be so many high-level athletes there that I've raced against and raced with and seen compete and really looked up to. So it's a really exciting experience that we get to compete at as collegians, which is generally pretty rare. It's usually just a meet that a lot of pros will go to. Yeah, I'm excited. I think Zavon's kind of in the same boat, being from New York and having won Melrose Games last year in the mile. And yeah, I'm really excited about it.
Who are the other two going to be running the legs?
Well, in no particular order right now, but it'll be Kaz and Zavon, as I already mentioned, Ricky West and Brandon Kidder. We're also traveling Ryan Brennan as an alternate, so some combination of those five. Yeah, that should be exciting.
So you've been the thing that you just mentioned this morning about the U.S. team. You've been involved with the U.S. program in other ways for a while. How big of an opportunity is this?
This is actually pretty exciting for me. I was an assistant coach on the Olympic team in '04 and was on the World Champ staff in '01 and '03 as an assistant coach, and I've had a couple other opportunities through the years to be on some staffs. This is the first time I'll be a head coach for a major championship, and certainly between the World Championships and Olympic Games, this is as good as it gets. So, and as you know, we had a tremendous Olympic run this past summer, and the World Champs will be quite an experience. So.
You actually get to do much coaching because everyone has their own personal coach?
Well, it depends on how many Penn Staters make it. No, honestly, it really isn't that. The coaching staff of the U.S. teams is pretty much the group that makes the decisions. We'll make the relay decisions. We'll make the decisions on a lot of the experience that the athletes go through. But we certainly are the people that facilitate the opportunity, facilitate the experience. It's 9 days of competition over an 11-day span, 2 rest days in between. and certainly a team of about 65 to 75 athletes each year. So it's quite a bit of organizational and administrative work, but certainly being the head coach will have a lot of impact in a lot of different ways. If we have some Penn Staters on the team, it'll be even better. So.
Coach, can you sum up the trajectory of the men's program? I know you talked about it a lot, but being ranked fifth right now, just talk about the way that program's grown and your thoughts on it right now.
Yeah, I think we're finally kind of cracking the code on the men's side. This is my 7th year at the helm of it. Takes a little bit of time to rebuild and regroup, and we've just got a very, very strong core in our middle distance right now, and then that has spread over, obviously, the success of the relay from last year, and then, you pick up a thrower here, you pick up a jumper there, you pick up a little bit in all areas across the board, which is our mission at Penn State, to have a balanced team. And the NCAA ranking, being 5th is, as exciting as that is, the NCAA is a very elite meet. There's probably not a more elite meet in the country nationally, certainly at the NCAA level, but even in a perspective of high-end caliber sport, the indoor national championships is that. It's very limited. It's a qualified straight-on descending order list. There's only 16 people per event, and it's an extremely difficult competition to qualify for. And we have Kaz leading the country in the 800. We've got a couple other 800 guys. You got Robbie just cracked the code in the mile. Sam Masters in the 3K with a new school record and in the top 15 or 16 or so in the country. So and the throwers, like I said, we're kind of all around representing. But it certainly is tough to talk about the NCAAs being strategically a team. It's more or less the group that we can get there and then doing well there. Right now we look very, very good. I have a lot of confidence in this. The guys have been on a task to really produce at that meet. We've come close a couple times, missed it here, missed it there. Someone misses a final, and it costs us because it's so valuable. But to see these guys in this position right now it's very exciting. It's taken a lot of work. It's taken a lot of time. Kaz has been there since he's, this will be his, there's 2 a year, indoor and outdoor, so this is his 7th in a row. Hope to finish it out with 8 in a row, but it takes a while to build a program around something like that. And certainly a few years ago, the women were there. We were really hitting it both indoor and outdoor at the conference and collegiate level, and right now the guys are on that upswing right now, so it's exciting.
How nice is it to have a Big Ten conference that's so strong to do right before that national meet, to give you guys kind of maybe a measuring stick of where you're at?
Yeah, it's huge to answer that. It's huge because you look at the top 10, top 15 in the country, and the Big Ten's all over that. Indiana's in there, Minnesota's in there, we're in there, Wisconsin's in there. So we're going into the Big Ten meet finally in a position where, ahead of time we look to be contenders, not necessarily contenders to win, but contenders to really be involved in just about every single event. 18 events indoors. And we look like we're going to score points in the majority of those events across the board. So that prep, that energy from a full squad of 30, 32 guys at the conference level carries the 8 or 10 or 12 guys that we take on in the national championships. It's huge.
The new facility in Ohio is not too far away from here. How encouraged were you by the performances there last weekend and getting a preview of coming up next week?
And I have to, Melissa was the only one up here that went to that competition. Yeah. Kaz had a weekend off. I was out at Seattle with some of the other athletes. And so I have not been to the facility yet. My staff had to kind of take video for me and everything else. But I'll let Melissa speak to it. But it seems like it's going to be a phenomenal venue. It certainly is a neutral venue, which we've never had in the Big Ten. It's going to be interesting to see what team really takes hold of the environment. Hope that's us. We're the closest school. And I hope we can bring a lot of fans in and bring a lot of people with us and really kind of claim the atmosphere because someone's going to. It may as well be us.
I thought it was a great facility. It's such an advantage to be able to compete there this past weekend and actually see the other Big Ten teams because it's the first time I've had the opportunity to do that. So I think it'll be good.
Coach, what does it mean for your squad as a whole to have put up some really strong numbers this early in the season, moving into the bigger meets?
I think it's really good. We have a tremendous indoor season and tremendous indoor cycle on how we do business. We've got the whole month of January at home. We don't travel. We don't miss school. We're able to really be comfortable in our training environment, and we have a world-class facility. So everybody comes into town. We run against some great athletes. We have some phenomenal opportunities to really control the environment, as I said, control the race or control the environment for our athletes to really get behind and produce on those weekends. So, and then we hit the road last weekend, this past weekend, with kind of taking advantage of a pre-meet setting and getting into some distance races on the West Coast. So really, we've got a great setup into the championship time. It's a relatively short season, but we've utilized it well. We've, knock on wood, we've stayed very healthy, and we have a great environment going into it. So I think we're pretty well prepped.
Coach, Will Barr has had a pretty good indoor season. Can you talk about his development so far? Setting 2 records the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been really, really fun and rewarding to see him do that. Will's a 4th-year kid. He'll throw for us again next year in his 5th year. This is a young man that came in as a walk-on from Ohio, has earned his way onto the not only the travel squad, the Big Ten squad, but into a scholarship position for us now. He's a great student, a great all-around young man, and he's had his eye set on that school record all season long. He got it, and then I actually haven't seen the video yet of this happening again this past weekend, but from what I hear, he's really ready to just continue to extend that record. And I was around here at Penn State when the former record holder set it back in early 2000s, and so it's been a good wait to see who's going to be the next record holder in that event, and Will is more than deserving. It's been pretty exciting.
For all 3 of you, really, now that last year you went through a Big Ten season where men's and women's were at the same site, what was it like to have teammates from both sides in one venue competing for the conference title for the first time?
Nebraska was certainly an interesting experience for us last year. The past 2 times I had run Big Tens previously, we had done it on sort of suspect facilities with flat tracks and just a lot of other stuff to deal with. And coming from the amazing facility we have, it was a little bit of a struggle and transition. And the first time we kind of competed in that environment, Nebraska was definitely a step up from that, and it was really encouraging to have the women there as well. It also allowed for a little more rest between events and a little bit longer of a meet schedule, which was nice for those of us who had to run more than one event. And I think it's just we are a combined program. We travel as a combined program. We practice as a combined program. So when we travel without each other, it's sort of like there's something missing. So it's really nice to have the women's team there as well when we travel. And when you look around the Big Ten and you see the other teams and how they behave in the environment, you can really tell that we're a team that spends a lot of time together and can be cohesive when we travel together to that championship site. And I think that's something that we have that's a step above some other programs. And I'm really excited to compete at such a neutral facility and with the other half of our program there as well.
You wanna comment?
I think you covered it.
And just speaking programmatically, we operate as a program, as Kaz is saying, but we definitely have 2 separate teams that are vying for 2 separate championships. And there's always, with change of combining the competition, there's loss and there's gain. And certainly for our program, it was a big gain in that we had all our coaches in the same place, we had all our athletes in the same place. We weren't making choices over those decisions and keeping it fair for the athlete experience. But in addition, it's an opportunity where the athletes themselves learn from other environments too. So this year, there's a lot of energy from our women's side in support of our guys to crack the code and do better than we've been before. On our women's side, this will be our 11th year. If we stay in the top 4, it'll be our 11th year in a row of being contenders, playing with it inside, and that's even with the addition of Nebraska last year. So there's and we have a lot of, if we talk about spring track, we have a lot coming on the women's roster outdoors. And so this indoor season, the women are very much on task to maintain, and the guys are a little bit on task to break through. And they know those differences going into the competition. And when you've got 30 women supporting this and 30 guys making sure that happens, it makes a huge difference.
Cass and Melissa, during the month of January, had a lot of the indoor meets for professionals and former Penn State athletes coming back to compete. What does that mean for you guys to be able to see, what the future might hold for some of you?
I think it's awesome. I think it's kind of something to look forward to in a lot of ways. Like, seeing them come back and still, like, be staters is awesome. So, I don't know, for me it's something like, I look at them and I'm like, I could be that one day. I'm going to be that one day. Like, I want to be that one day. So, for me it's just kind of motivation. Yeah.
I'm definitely in the same boat on that too. It's really exciting to see alumni come back and compete, and Penn State's known outside of sports for having a great alumni network, and it's certainly no different in our sports teams. It's been really great having some of the professionals come back and be able to give a little insight into their experiences. It's certainly something that I'm aspiring to continue doing next year at a professional level. So it's a learning experience for me, and it's very encouraging to have a supportive system that helps to transition you into that environment.
I think on top of that too, like, I know for the throwers, like, Ryan's around, and being able to see him train every day is like, that's a big deal, because when we have the home meets and different people are around, it's so funny because they're like, oh my gosh, it's Ryan Whiting, like, he's such a big deal. And for us, it's like, we see him do his thing every day, and not everyone gets to do that, so it's cool.
Y'all should come down. He takes his sledgehammer. He literally, he can hold a full sledgehammer and hammer this rubber mat thing, and like, he can control that. Like, he hits that and it bounces back. It would throw right out of my arms, but he can hold it just like that. It's absolutely amazing.
The one time in the weight room, he had the bar on his back, and he had like 2 of the pole vaulters on one side and 2 of the distance girls on the other side. He's just squatting. Like, it's no big deal.
Squatting people.
Yes.
So he's an amazing athlete, and it does make a huge difference. Our sport, now I'll put a plug in here, our sport is one of the rare sports that produces a lot of professional athletes. Certainly on our men's side, other sports do, football, basketball, so forth. There's a lot of professional opportunity. On the women's side, we're probably the #1 sport of producing pro athletes, and we've had 5 alone in the last 5 or 6 years here at Penn State that have come out of our program and gone on to be Olympians, but also sponsored and making a living off of being an athlete. And so when we have talent like this and others, you know, we definitely take into account the entire, you know, road, and hopefully have them on a world champ staff with us later.
You expect to be coaching Ryan and Bridget and people like that this summer?
I really hope so. I really hope so. Ryan's told me it's definite, and Bridget doesn't know the news yet. So actually, I did tell Ryan last week.
Did you?
Yeah, but Bridge, I'm sure will definitely be planning to be on the team again. She better be.